Morning, Trainiacs. She's gonna be a big one today. Wholesome workout, chocked full of goodness. So you all might not have seen it because it was on Triathlon Canada's page, and let's be honest, who pays attention to triathlons in Canada? I barely do. But Lionel Sanders did an interview talking about everything that he plans on looking into changing on his bike. And you're like, why would Lionel Sanders change his bike? He's one of the fastest cyclists in the sport. That's what we're gonna chat about today, right after we go through this punishment. I shouldn't have done what I just did. So it was a 2-hour, 25-minute ride. And in that, after 10 minutes of warming up, I decided to do a race, just for fun. 25K race, done after 55 minutes. I was toast. Spun out easy for about 20 minutes. Decided, hey, that was kind of fun. Let's do another race. That was a 10K race. I really shouldn't have done those races early on. That was very crampy. And after that bike, I did a 10-minute run, building up to race pace, 8.5 miles an hour, about 2.2 kilometers, 1.4 miles in 10 minutes. Silly. It's amateur hour here. All right, sauna, breakfast, clothes, Lionel Sanders bike position. So, I don't know if you saw, but on Triathlon Magazine Canada's YouTube channel, they did an interview with Lionel when he got back to the city, and they were like, so, what do you think? How'd you enjoy Oceanside? And he's like, well, super motivated to make a lot of changes, specifically to the bike, which might be strange because Lionel Sanders has been putting in probably the fastest bike times of any pro triathlete in the world. Now, granted, there are some of the super bikers, the Cameron Wurfs, the Andrew Starkowitz, which might go a little bit faster on a race here or there, but Lionel is also able to run off of the bike. So you're thinking, well, why would he ever change? But Lionel talks about it right here.
I mean, people have been telling me this for years now, but I really got to start to get serious about my equipment choices and my position and all of these sorts of things. And looking at Jan's bike, you know, he has left nothing, absolutely nothing to chance. He's tested everything. He's optimized in every single way, shape, and form. And I have to do the same now.
So in general, Lionel's talking about basically optimizing the entire bike for aerodynamics, efficiency, integration, and position. And if we look at Jan's bike versus Lionel's bike in Oceanside, we see some really significant differences that we'll show you right here. Let's look at Jan's bike. And we can see here that looking at the front cockpit, there's really no parts that seem to be bolted on. It's all integrated. There's a water bottle in behind this front fairing. This here bento box for storage of nutrition. It's all coming right off of the cockpit. There's nothing coming off the rear of the bike. You can see that he does have one water bottle, but that water bottle, I'd imagine on this Canyon frame, actually makes it more aerodynamic because it fills up space. And you can see that it's basically right in line with the frame. So it takes up space and it allows that wind to, instead of hitting the frame and then going around and having area to basically snap back and create turbulence, it's one area that with proper aerodynamics, the wind can just stick to the side of that bike, making it nice and aerodynamic. Lionel's bike, however, he's got a bottle coming off of the back, he's got a flat repair kit coming off of the back, and specifically, he mentions that he would like to take that flat repair kit off the back and, just like Jan has done, put that here. That'll also then allow him to get a mount for this bottle back here and place that at more of a 45-degree angle. Now, additionally, he says that he's going to change up this cockpit out here and that he's just ordered the Tri-Rig Alpha X, which to me, I'm not very familiar with, but just looking at it, it looks like a much more integrated system where you can do internal cable routing. You've got more nutrition options instead of this, I think it's an X-Lab or a profile design bottle. that sticks up, and it's not nearly as integrated. Now he's also looking at the Speed Play Aero Zero pedals that Jan uses. Those pedals, they're like a cup underneath that instead of the pedals just sticking out and bulging off the bottom of the shoe, there's a nice aerodynamic roundness to them. He's also talking about getting a Vision set of cranks that are time trial specialist cranks, that instead of the crank area in the center having holes in it, it's flat all the way across. And all this he recognizes might not necessarily instantly make him faster on the bike, but what he says is that he's never been in the wind tunnel before. Garneau has taken him to a velodrome, and you get kind of a sense of what different changes in equipment, in position, in your kit make, but it's not nearly as like 100% accurate as a wind tunnel. Downside to a wind tunnel is that it's $500 an hour at least. Cheddar. Now, the thing that might be shocking to a lot of people is that Lionel also said that he's looking at making some changes to his aero position, to his entire bike position. And again, that might shock a lot of people because they're saying like, well, dude, you've been killing it on the bike, but I've always wondered if he was positioned as well as possible. Lionel says he's got a really long torso, but because he's got a medium frame, he can't get that seat height up high enough to get a nice aerodynamic position. So I think he's going to end up going to a smaller frame, and let's see what the position changes are that he mentioned that I've been looking at for quite a while. So this angle here, and again, thanks to our buddy Talbot Cox for all this. So the one thing that I've always noticed about Lionel is that he's got a very hunched back here. And that could be him being in too far. It could be a lot of things. I'm not a bike fitter, but he recognizes that he was very scrunched up in Oceanside. And then the next thing he wants to address is the hip angle. And that's the angle between the torso and the leg. And he wants to open that up wider, and the idea is that if you open that up wider, you're going to be fresher for the run. You can do that with a shorter crank. You can do that with moving your torso up. I doubt he's going to do that. However, back in the day, Jan actually said that he brought his body up and it made him more aero. You wouldn't think it. So there are certainly some things that he can change that are going to make him an absolute monster on the bike. He's already there, but if he can get even stronger and be fresher for the run, whew, hot damn, Lionel, you're going to be fast. Now, the most interesting thing that I heard him say in this interview, and he mentioned on Instagram, is that watts are great and all. Power is phenomenal, and the best place to do that is on Zwift, on an indoor ride where the situation is controlled and you can do a really purposeful workout. But he said that he gave away a lot of free time in Oceanside on the corners, in the technical sections, and you can't build that on Zwift and indoors. So this past week, he was riding outside in some trails. Put all this together, and the dude is going to be nasty for the rest of the year. I'd like to race you. You know what? I would like to ride with you for the 30 seconds that I could hang on. That'd be fun. There you go, Trainiacs. Another day, another video covering Lionel Sanders. Just wealth of content ideas. You're awesome. Thank you for watching. If you aren't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. If you're into interview-style podcasts, check out the Triathlon Taren podcast. It is the most reviewed triathlon podcast in the world. If you are subscribed, hit the like button. Now, we go to a comedy show. I'm going to have me some wings and a couple of laughs.